to all the new dreamers who stopped by DawnDares2Dream today to see what we're all about. Well, we're doing our short series on abandonment issues and how they've impacted our lives. So last time we spoke about some symptoms of having abandonment and neglect issues. So today we're going to move it one step further and we're going to talk about the impacts that having been abandoned or felt like you've been abandoned, the impacts that it has had on my life and that it may be having on your life. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to use a few real world examples of my own abandonment issues and the impacts that it has had on me. And then in our next video, and I think it will be our very last, we're going to talk about some ways to overcome your abandonment issues. But first you have to recognize the symptoms, which we did in video 1. And in video 2, we're going to now acknowledge the impact of being abandoned, what that has done to us in our lives. And then in video 3, we're going to talk about tips, tricks, things, methodologies that we can use to overcome our abandonment issues. So we're going to talk about some issues or some impacts of having been abandoned in your life. And if you've been following me, you've watched my Bipolar series, I'm going to put it up here right now for you to go ahead and click on. And that way you can go take a look at some of my experiences of being a bipolar African-American woman, today. I got diagnosed when I was 27 and now I'm about to be 47. So that's 20 years of acknowledging and knowing and living with bipolar disorder. So go ahead and check it out. If you know someone who has a mental illness or you have one, I'm quite sure there's some things in that series that I can definitely shed light on that can help you, help yourself, or help others. So today we're going to continue and talk about suicide. Suicide has had a very serious impact on my life. I've tried to commit suicide 4 times. Yes, I said it 4 times. And I'm here to tell you it's not that simple to end your life. It really isn't, because I'm still here after 4 tries. Now, all these attempts came prior to me being a mom. Having my son completely changed my outlook on life and how I viewed myself and who I was to him. And I didn't want to abandon him by committing suicide. So no matter what I've been through since he's been here on this earth, I've been able to muster up enough courage and motivation and inspiration to get through. So that's the miracle of having my child, right? So, but suicide is a real thing, and it's something that happens when I completely feel like there's no hope, or I've done something that maybe isn't completely correct, and I feel like I can't come back from it, or I feel abandoned or left or neglected as an adult. I feel like it's the only escape is to end my life. But that stems from the hurt and the trauma that I experienced as a kid from being abandoned by my caregivers, which was my parents. And they had no intention of abandoning me. But when I think about what my mom and dad have been through in their lifetime, especially as kids, they were abandoned as well. So they grew up, had kids, and did the same exact thing to us as what was done to themselves. And so what I've learned is that I don't want to pass on that generational curse or that family issue or problem. So I've made sure that I haven't abandoned my son and I'm there for him. And I've also engaged his father in our co-parenting relationship the way that I have to avoid him feeling any abandonment issues from his dad as well. I've taken a proactive stance in his life. But suicide is a real thing. And when people suffer from abandonment issues, they can tend to think that that's a great option because it's an escape from reality of what is occurring. So have you tried to commit suicide before? Maybe you suffer from or you're living with abandonment issues. Needing to prove myself was a big thing for me, and especially in the workplace. I've had my current position, my current job for about 6 years now. And when I first got my job, I was very defensive about everything. Whenever I would get a critique about anything or if someone wanted to change my proposal, any write-up that I've done, the plan that I've created, I took total offense to it, okay? And I would defend my position. And, it took my bosses basically saying, I'm just giving you my 2 cents. Why is this such a problem? But you know why it was a problem? Because I suffer from abandonment issues, or I live with abandonment issues. But you know what I learned? That they weren't trying to tear me apart. They were trying to make whatever it is that I had done for them, the proposal that I was writing that then was going to pass on to their bosses, better. And it wasn't about I didn't do a great job and I wasn't getting patted on the back, but it was more about let's improve this so that we can move forward. So all those bosses out there, if you have an employee who's a little defensive or you're the person that is defensive, take a step back. Because you may be doing it and being so defensive in situations where you don't need to be. Because I definitely learned that, in my workplace. But we're going to talk more about solutions in our next video. Feeling unworthy, Lord, that was a ginormous issue that I have had and that I have worked on. DawnDares2Dream, to be honest with you, has helped me to work on a lot of my unworthy issues because I realized how it was impacting my life. But when you've been abandoned and you haven't received the love that you think you should have gotten, that love that was supposed to help shore you up and make you secure and hold you up and feed your positive ego, right? If you haven't received that, then you begin to feel unworthy, and you feel unworthy in everything that you do and everywhere that you go, and you're always doubting yourself. But I'm here to tell you, you are worthy, and there are techniques and things that you can do and things you can look out for to learn and understand and see your value and your worth. Do you have an issue second guessing yourself with things that you do and not sure that, it's right or it has to be perfect? You got to make it perfect because, again, you don't want to come off like you don't know what you're talking about. So you don't want to be defensive. So you try to do everything as perfect as you can. But there is no such thing as perfection. And I tell my son this all the time. There's no such thing as perfection. We are who we are. People, we are going to make mistakes. We are human beings. But what you need to understand is second guessing ourselves is something that most of us do. But you have to learn where to draw the line and where to stop, because you have to end whatever it is you're doing. You have to present it. You can't be in work mode all the time, and you have to complete. So if you're constantly second guessing yourself, then you're not completing anything. But that second guessing is coming from not having that support that we were supposed to have at a young age, because abandonment issues start from childhood. There's something that our caregivers or our parents did not do or did not provide to us. It is not our fault. It is impacting our lives in a major way, but it's not our fault. I will say that again. It's not our fault. It's not your fault. It's not my fault, but we have them. So what do we do so that how the abandonment issues have impacted our lives, we are not now negatively impacting others around us because of what we have gone through in our childhood? I talk about in my How to Release the Past Pain, Hurt, and Trauma series, recognizing our triggers and understanding them and acknowledging the hurt and forgiving ourselves, forgiving our offenders, and letting it go. We need to do that with abandonment. But sometimes abandonment hides and we don't understand. Like I told you on the last video, I literally just remembered or recalled from watching a TV show that I had these abandonment issues that I thought I was done with because I had forgiven my parents for my childhood. I thought I forgave them. I did forgive them. But what happens is, even though we forgive, in order to let something go, we have to work through it. I am not a licensed psychologist. I am not a licensed therapist. So I do advise you to go find one. Find a group, find group therapy, find individual therapy. Do what you need to do to work through these issues, because abandonment, it's a sneaky little bugger, okay? And it's holding you back in your life in ways that you don't realize until you open your mind. I say you got to live your life with your eyes wide open. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Also remember, there's a share button down there with an arrow. You can share this to your social media platform like Facebook. If you have not subscribed to my channel, there's a button down there, red button. Click on that red button, subscribe to my channel. You can also click on my face to subscribe to my channel as well. It's going to be up here in a circle. And if you have any comments, any questions, anything that you would like to add to this series, drop me a comment down below and I will be sure to get back to you. I am so thankful that you took time to hang out with me today. Have a great day, dreamers.